Everyone in their life is gonna eventually experience something. It's just a matter of time. Whether you win your first trophy, made your first friend, or wear your t-shirt inside out and get corrected like you some idiot. It's inevitable. It's a canon event. And we're all gonna probably do something that changes the courses of our lives forever and makes us feel a certain type of way. But the one universal feeling everyone in the world will definitely go through is fear. Fear is a standard feature built across all of humanity. This shit taps in like a spider sense and everyone has it. Some people are afraid of spiders, others are afraid of heights. But me personally, I'm low-key afraid of people who put cereal before milk. You disgust me. You're telling me you like soggy cold cereal. You sicko. I've always been team milk before cereal. It's the only way. But seriously, the majority of fears I had came from a bunch of horror. From movies and games to even creepypasta people used to make videos about. So today, I'm gonna bring up some of the horror villains that gave me nightmares when I was a kid. So without further talking, let's get into it, man. Beginning with the most creepiest person I've ever seen in my life, Jeff the Killer. Now there's levels to being afraid. Going from this shit isn't scary at all to things that make you piss yourself completely. But when I tell you Jeff the Killer used to make me shook, man. His face is just hella creepy. Somebody slapped this man some cream. He looks hella dusty. I remember when I first saw this picture and I was straight up traumatized. The guy just looks wrong, bro. And when I used to watch people break down his origin story, getting into my bag, learning more about this man, I turned white, bro. He's a criminal. What first introduced me to this menace was the Little Big Planet 2 story on YouTube. I remember I was about 8 at the time, so I was a kid. I didn't know no better. And when I watched the story talking about his origin, I froze. I was shook. There was blood and his guy's face was torn open. My God, man. How was this in a game for 7-year-olds? How was this allowed, man? Jeff the Killer was low-key my boogeyman growing up. At the time, I didn't know what I was afraid of more. Jeff or getting a cut at the barbershop going bald, thinking it was a hard trim. This shit had me traumatized as well. Well, you guys are probably hella confused. So I'm going to explain Jeff's origin and how he became a complete nightmare in my life and a disease to us all. So the entire story begins with Jeff's family moving to a whole new neighborhood. His family being his 2 parents and his brother Lou. And from childhood, this guy has always been a sicko. He used to throw fits at his parents and crash out near enough all the time. So he was already an unstable person. But as they were settling into their new neighborhood, getting into school and just adjusting to their new life in general, like most people, these men were getting bullied. I remember earlier when I said Jeff was unstable. Yeah, he didn't take the idea of bullying too kindly. So fast forward now and Jeff and his brother Lou are waiting at a bus stop to go to school, only for the bullies to pull up and try to rob these men. Jeff and Lou start arguing and backing themselves when one of the bullies pulls out a shank and then threatens to empty their pockets or they're gonna stab them. So as swift as he can, Lou starts emptying his pockets trying to run his wallet to the bully with the knife because he was scared. He didn't want to get stabbed. But you see Jeff was just angry. The man didn't want to run his pockets. Instead, he wanted to run his fade. So Jeff punches one of them in the nose, making this guy bleed, and breaks his wrist, taking the knife from his hand and stabs the bully. Then he punched one of the other bullies so hard in the stomach, the guy vomited. And his brother just stood there, gassed that Jeff finessed the bullies. And instead of being traumatized, scared, or even upset he hurt some people, Jeff couldn't feel anything but happy about it. He was a sicko. He was gassed about dropping him and stabbing the guy. It got him high like his name was Hisoka. So the next day, the feds pull up to their crib, talking about the little fight Lou and Jeff had between the bullies, mentioning the knife as the reason why they're there. Lou decides to take the fall for Jeff and go to spend a year in juvie. And this had Jeff in turmoil. The guy couldn't believe his brother took the fall for him. He was hella pissed, fam. He couldn't believe it. He felt mad guilty. So a couple of more days pass and there's a birthday party going on. And his mom decides to tell Jeff about it, saying he should pull up. And after convincing him a bunch more, he agrees and pulls up to the birthday party. But you know who else pulls up? The same bullies Jeff smoked before. And these men wanted around too. So the bullies waste no time and get to squabbling with him. And as Jeff is fighting one of the bullies, the guy's completely unfazed. He didn't want to scrap and really wasn't trying to throw no hands. But then the bully fighting him smashes a whole bottle of vodka on this guy's head completely, leaving a whole shard in there. And right after this, Jeff snapped. This guy stopped giving a crap and immediately crashed out and punched the bully so hard in the heart, the guy literally just died. He fainted. He got proof. He was finished. And everyone was just staring at this, petrified, shocked. They couldn't believe the guy did this. So the other 2 bullies waste no time and try to avenge their friend by jumping Jeff, following him into the bathroom, and they all start scrapping. And whilst they're fine, they knock over a bottle of bleach, going all over Jeff. So as Jeff is faced off with the last bully, the guy decides to take out a lighter and dash it on Jeff, completely burning the guy alive. And he's out there screaming and running down the stairs in pain to the party, and everyone's going crazy. It's mad. And they hurry to the hospital as soon as they can. So when we next hear of Jeff, he's now at the hospital, got bare bandages around his face and a whole cast around his body. A doctor then starts removing all of the bandages to reveal this guy's face, and look how dusty this guy looks. He had no lips, his trim was dusty, his breath was stinking, and this guy had a criminal case of being ashy. His parents were horrified at what they were looking at. Couldn't even see that was their own son. But you see Jeff liked looking like this. He thought he was Peng. He thought he was gonna start bagging all the fine shit on some in the club. We all fam. He was gassed at his new looks and thought he looked better this way. And his parents thought he was a complete sicko for thinking like this. But then the doctor has a conversation with his parents saying that it's probably just him trying to adjust his new looks. So give it a few days and he'll probably change his mind about it. But later that night, this guy became an absolute horror show. Jeff's mom starts hearing shit coming from the toilet, only to see the most traumatizing thing she's ever seen in her entire life. Jeff full on carved his face like he was a pumpkin. He burned his eyelids off and carved a smile into his face, revealing breathing all his teeth. His lips were hella dry and he just straight up looked like an absolute psycho. And the worst bit of it all was that he was still dry. Get this man some Nivea. Come on, man, he needs something. But Jeff just looked like a straight up menace. And he was holding a big ass knife in his hand and started threatening his mom, asking him if he looked good. And she was only saying yes because she didn't want to get shanked in her stomach. So she slowly backed away, ran to her husband and started pleading to him, begging him to get a gun. Only for Jeff to hear this in the hallway, feeling betrayed, and then he straight up just stabbed both his parents, man. With him finally ending the family, going into Lou's room and shanking this guy as well, killing him. Jeff the Killer is a pinnacle in the horror industry. This monster was something else and is definitely one of the most popular horror villains on the internet. Him and Slenderman used to have me feeling like life was over, I swear. I remember when I first played Slenderman, and I kid you not, I didn't look behind me for a whole week. I thought this guy was gonna kill me. Shoot, I'm still too shook now to watch this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't never gonna touch that shit. But also, why the hell Jeff ain't got no movie or even a dedicated game? He's one of, if not the most popular creepypasta of all time. The guy's the face of horror memes. Jeff the Killer was an actual fiend. And if you've never seen or heard of this man growing up, consider yourself lucky, because if you knew of this man, you would have had nightmares for the rest of your life. This guy is creepy, man. Going on to my next horror villain, we got Pennywise the dancing clown. And I've been seeing a lot of mixed opinions. Some people are afraid of Pennywise, and others just think he's a stupid clown. He's straight up goofy. But if you want to know my perspective, I hate this guy, man. I hate clowns. Ever since the killer clown epidemic of 2016, I used to watch some of the content on this, and I would see absolute sickos in broad daylight carrying zombie knives and ugly ass clown masks chasing you at top speed. And to see this as a child, I could never get my life back after this, I swear. So when I came across Pennywise and saw that he can manifest your darkest fears to come true, I swear down, I didn't touch watching this movie till I was like 15. I couldn't do it, bro. Now all of Pennywise's powers come from making you feel fear. So if you ain't afraid of this man, he's useless. But the thing we're not thinking about here is how are we not gonna be afraid of him? Let me explain. Pennywise can take anything and everything you're afraid of and make it manifest into reality. Like he's a genie. There's no limits to his powers as long as you're scared of something. He's just gonna make it come true. So the only few people that can defeat Pennywise in truth are people who aren't afraid of nothing. And that's bullshit, bro. Everyone's afraid of something. He can make anything happen. He's completely random. If you're scared of going naked in public, he can make it happen. If you're afraid of getting rejected, he can make it happen. If you're afraid of eating at the worst fast food place possible and never want to go there, Pennywise will force you to eat at a place you can't escape his powers. And even though these are illusions and aren't real, he makes it feel too real, and it's how the guy gets you to die. I don't know how a bunch of people are saying they could beat or survive Pennywise. No, you can't, man. You're lying. I can understand not being afraid of clowns and thinking Pennywise is a joker. I mean, look at him. He's ugly as hell. But that's just how the guy looks. That ain't got nothing to do with what he can do. If he can make Bill hallucinate and see Georgie again, even shapeshifted into the kid, what makes you think it won't happen to you? Pennywise is only capped based on how much fear or what you fear in general. You don't even have to be the most scared person for his powers to even work. You just have to have something that makes you afraid. After that, he's just gonna exploit it and put your fear on max difficulty, making you wish you were dead. You ain't gonna beat him like the Losers Club did. You do not have that level of plot armor, respectfully. Pennywise got a PhD in bullying, but his weakness is that he can't take none of the smoky dishes back. This guy wouldn't survive 1 second in a COD lobby. He would have been finished. All it took in the second movie was for the Losers Club to violate him, straight bullying him and call him cringe. And Pennywise couldn't hack none of this. And then he turned into a whole ugly ass baby. But what makes this kind of crazy is that Pennywise isn't just a clown. He's an interdimensional demon alien from a whole other plane of reality. He just sounds hella broken. He sounds like he should have smoked up and finessed everyone. But then I ain't gonna lie, as scary as he is, his downfall was trash. Pennywise, you ass. To conclude on this villain, Pennywise is absolutely terrifying. Not just because of his appearance and how ugly this man is, but really because of his power to make anything you're afraid of come true. So with that in mind, he's scary as hell. What are we talking about here? If I see Pennywise, I'm hightailing it. I'm gone. Now we can't speak about horror villains without talking about some horror games. And the game I want to bring to you man's attention is Resident Evil. Now the Resident Evil games are third person. I'm not gonna lie, just ain't scary at all. This shit's weak, man. Now I'm not gonna lie, there was some scary moments in the third person ones, but other than that, it's just a lot less terrifying because you can see a lot more of it being third person and it's less in your face, so you know you don't have to be that afraid of it. But when it comes to the first person ones, it's a different level here. They had me wanting to drive off a mountain, I swear, man. Resident Evil 7 and 8 are some of the scariest shit I've ever played in my life. And that ain't a lot, because why the hell would I consciously decide to play horror? Do I want to get a heart attack? They put you right into that shit like you're actually in the game, and it just gives you a horrifying experience in general. And some moments specifically in the first person versions of the franchise are absolutely disgusting. Like in Resident Evil 7, when you go against a family, the first time you fight the dad, it's not that deep. You just fight the guy and he's just a sicko driving the car like he's Stinkney, you know. But as you keep playing the game, they start mutating, start changing, start becoming weirder. And now the same guy you were fighting near the start of the game becomes this ugly ass creature, man. And the same goes for the rest of the family. The weirdest one by far in this game was Defo the mom. She turned into some whole weird lady spider and you had to shoot in the stomach. It made me sick, man. It was disgusting. A lot of moments from this game were just weird as hell and just was straight up sick. Even when you first meet the family, you're eating dinner. What the hell are they eating? They're eating a bunch of shit. It's disgusting. And eventually you start fighting venom symbiotes. What the hell is going on here? But I'm not here to focus solely on Resident Evil 7. Maybe I'll do that another time. I'm here to bring your attention to one of the most creepiest and weirdest moments in all of Resident Evil. So I gotta bring your attention to Resident Evil 8. So in Resident Evil 8, how the story went is your daughter was kidnapped and you need to go around 4 different areas and kill the bad guys of each area to get parts of her back. Some demon level story, I'll be honest, but we're not gonna get into that right now. You had to fight people like every Gooner's dream Lady Dimitrescu, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, this guy who can move like he's Magneto, and a creepy ass doll lady. Now 3 of the people you gotta murk give you boss fights, and you gotta kill them in their ugliest forms, looking bare dehydrated. But the creepy doll just gives you mind-bending psychological trauma. I'm talking about her level is actually insane. This shit would have a grown-ass man crying. So how her level goes is that instead of finding a boss at the end, you're just solving a bunch of puzzles. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this part was kinda aight. It was decent. It was a good step back from all the horror bullshit you've seen before this, so you think you were getting a chance to chill. You didn't have to find no ugly ass bosses or stupid mobs. But there's one part of this level that was so horrible, so irredeemable, so heinous that I could never see life the same anymore. When you go down to the basement in the house, you come face to face with this thing, and look at it. Look at it. What is that? What the hell is that? This shit just looks wrong, and it follows you around the whole rest of the level, and you just hear it laughing in the background. It's straight up weird, man. This unique looking baby fetus weirdo who was just horrifying to look at. And the way he kills you if he grabs you is outrageous. Just kill me now, man. What the hell was this? The dollhouse in this game was an actual insane experience. The flipping baby just looked wrong. Whoever designed this, I feel bad for you, man, because you were probably crying when you made this. Look at it. It looks terrible. First-person horror games are a crazy pick for you to be having when you're bored. This shit is immersive as hell. You get put into the shoes of the main character and get a whole experience from their perspective, practically experiencing everything they go through. Like when Ethan's hand got cut off in Resident Evil 8, I felt that shit, I ain't gonna lie. And the first-person Resident Evil games, evil, man. I'm telling you, they're evil. But now this brings me to the last horror villain. Someone who's heinous. Someone who used to give me nightmares, bro. But somehow I was addicted to watching the content about them. I kept consuming it. This individual was such a sicko. I used to hate looking at them and wanted them to disappear. I'm not gonna lie. Ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking about none other than Bendy the Ink Demon. And look at the guy, man. Just look at him. I can agree that when it comes to most horror games I've seen or even played, I ain't gonna lie to you, Bendy and the Ink Machine doesn't really come close to a lot of them. However, Bendy is a scary individual. I think we can agree on that. Because look at him, man. He's built like a psycho. You're telling me if you saw this guy in the middle of the street, you're not gonna try and run like you're the Flash? You're lying. But hands down, Bendy is a creepy looking guy. First, there's the first jump scare in the game. Then he chases you around limping and shit like one zombie. Then in the 3rd chapter, you out here playing hide and seek trying to avoid this guy at all costs. And then in the 5th chapter, this guy shows his shape-shifting capabilities and flipping makes a giant hand and turns into Donkey Kong. Come on, man. He ain't got no face and he ain't got no legs. What are we on about here? And then in the 2nd game, he gets even worse. Look at his build now. What the hell is this? Now he looks like an actual demon. He looks menacing as hell. Not to mention, Bendy is like this because he has no soul. The guy was the first creation to come out of the machine, and he's just a straight up dead corpse walking around the studio. And you can't even kill him or just slow him down at all in the game. He doesn't die. He's just weird, man. Bendy is literally a flipping demon. He's a Mickey Mouse flipping demon with no soul, a weird build, no flipping eyes, and a stupid grin. He's weird, man. And I stand behind being afraid of him. He's an absolute sicko. He's a horror show, man. But now we're at the end of the flick, and these were some horror villains and games that had me weak back in the day. If you got any more you're afraid of or just think I'm bugging for the ones I brought up today, write in the comments. I appreciate all you, man. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.